Hello and welcome back to the channel. This time we're looking at the shunter classes, looking at the smaller classes 01 through to 07, none of which were prevalent in the West Midlands area where I grew up. In fact, I don't remember seeing many of them at all in my spotting days. So a short video this time, just looking at the smaller classes and a few photos of each type. I hope you enjoy. Please help the channel grow by liking, sharing and subscribe if you haven't already done so. It's a great help to us to grow. Across Britain's railways, shunters were never glamorous. They didn't haul express trains or make the headlines, but in depots, yards and industrial sidings, these small locomotives kept the network moving. In this video, we explore Britain's diesel shunters from the tiniest dockyard engines to the mighty Class 08, the unsung backbone of daily railway life. After nationalisation in 1948, British Rail inherited thousands of steam locomotives. Steam, while romantic, was expensive, labour-intensive and inefficient for yard work. By the 1950s, dieselisation became the solution. Engines that were cheaper, easier to operate and ideal for the stop-start nature of shunting. This led to a wave of new small locomotives designed to replace steam shunters across Britain. The story begins with the smallest, the Class 01, introduced in 1956. Just 5 were built, designed for tight spaces such as dockyards and industrial sidings, where heavier locomotives couldn't go. The last 2 worked on the Holyhead breakwater until July 1980. Slightly larger were the Class 02, 1960, with 20 produced, performing similar work on light track and tight curves. Though both classes were eventually outclassed by some more versatile locomotives, a few survive today in preservation as reminders of the smallest mainline diesels. Next came the Class 03, introduced in 1957 and one of the most numerous light shunters. Over 230 were built, powered by a 204 horsepower Gardner engine with a top speed of 28 miles per hour. The 03s were versatile, working in yards, branch lines, docks and even seaside stations during busy summer weekends. Compact, practical and reliable, they became a common sight and remain cherished in preservation today. British Rail also experimented with other small designs. The Class 04, built in 1947 by the Drury Car Company, which at the time, and for most of its existence, had no manufacturing capability. Drury subcontracted the construction work to 2 builders, both of whom built other locomotives under the same arrangement. Early locomotives were built by Vulcan Foundry in 1952 through to 1956, and later examples were built by Robert Stevenson and Hawthorns from 1956 to 1961. The Class 05, built by Hunslet in 1955, and the Class 06, built in Scotland in 1958, were used in depots and industrial sites but had limited power and numbers. Whilst their British Rail careers were short, many continued working in industry and some survive in heritage collections. A more specialist design was the Class 07 from 1962. These were built for Southampton Docks. With a 275 horsepower engine and distinctive offset cab, these 14 locomotives moved freight efficiently between the docks and the nearby yards. They worked tirelessly for 15 years, becoming a familiar sight on the waterfront, and a few survive. From the tiniest dockyard engines to powerful yard workhorses, Britain's diesel shunters quietly shaped the railway industry, bridging the gap between steam and modern operations. Their story is one of innovation, adaptability, and the unsung heroes of everyday railway life. Next, we will be looking at the Class 08, which we've done a separate video for, which also includes the 09s and the unusual Class 13s. Hopefully you'll see a link for that on the screen above. So this time looking at the Saltley logbooks rather than upload to coincide with the anniversary date of the video going live, given that we didn't see any 01s to 07s at Saltley, I thought we'd look at a Christmas period on the shed. So I've had a look at the book for Christmas 1984, which covers the period from 6:15 in the evening on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day and Boxing Day, and then going through to the 28th of December. And particularly interesting for myself is that this is the first time out of the 10 I've done of these where I can actually see my own handwriting, showing that I must have been there over Christmas that year. I can recognise my handwriting, starting with the 47620 on the first page. Unusual, 33019, leaving the shed, going off to crew at 1310. And then my writing continues on the next page. It's the pleasure of seeing 37022 coming in light from Nuneaton. I should also point out that most of these are arrivals on the shed. That's because the engine arranger, using his NTN, his National Telegraph Network machine, was responsible for putting into tops all the departures. It was only locos going long distances, like the 33 going to crew, that required something called train call in the top system, which we as tops clerks had to do. So most of the time this is a record of locos coming on that we're checking that are there, and the engine arranger downstairs responsible for sending them off. Anyway, hope you enjoy that look at the Christmas period for that year. Thank you very much for watching this short video about the small shunter classes. Please like, share and subscribe. See you in the next one.